Hi guys, Sharice here from Pieces Calligraphy. This video is on how to hold the brush pen to do brush calligraphy. I got a lot of questions on how to hold the brush pen, and some of you out there who've been struggling to find the right grip on the pen have asked me to demonstrate and to share more information. So to start off this video, I wanted to compare how it's different, how holding the brush pen is different from the pointed pen. And so this is what I'm talking about with the pointed pen. To briefly go over the differences, so here I have a brush pen with a flexible tip at the end. So I'm just going to briefly go over. And then there's already ink loaded onto the pen, and in my opinion, there isn't as strict of a way to grip the pen in order to achieve the brush calligraphy. Whereas with the pointed pen, it's very crucial to hold the pen in a certain way, and then the fact that you're applying ink, there needs to be the right angle that you're holding the pointed pen in order to do calligraphy. And so what you really need to just know is that for those of you who do use pointed pen or are interested in using pointed pen, I feel like it's a little more complicated since you're learning this tool versus the brush pen, which is essentially a marker with a flexible tip. And that is a big reason why I'm starting to push people to go toward the brush pen when you're first learning calligraphy, just so you can get down the basics and not worry about the tool you're using so much so as if you were to use the pointed pen. So those are just brief differences about the two different types of pens, and then going deeper into the brush pen. So for grips, what I've actually come to find is that there isn't a one-size-fits-all grip. It really is up to you how to hold the pen. Personally, I do kind of hold it in a traditional pencil sense where I'm resting it on my middle finger, holding it with my pointer and thumb, and then this is how I just write. And what I'm doing here is I'm holding the pen. So after I establish my grip, I'm holding it at an angle that allows me to apply different pressures of thick going down, more pressure going down to create that thick line and less pressure going up. And the key here is to notice that I don't change my grip once I'm starting to write. So I am moving my wrist and moving my arm about, but for the most part, you won't see me turn the pen in a different way. I don't change the angle, it just remains this way, and the only thing that's different is how thick the strokes are and how much pressure I'm putting down on the pen. And I have other videos that go over the thick and thin strokes, so if you're interested more in achieving that look, I'll put a link in the caption below. But really notice how I'm holding the pen and I'm not changing the angle. The more up top you write, where the pen is straight up, it's not at an angle, it's kind of hard to achieve the calligraphy look. It just starts to look like a regular marker. And I'm actually trying to apply light and hard pressure, and there isn't any variation. It's when you're at that angle that you start to get the tip of the brush and then the whole, like more of the side of the brush. Okay, so another point I wanted to make is that when you're worrying about your grip, so I talked about how I hold it this way. I've actually changed the finger that I've rested the pen on, so I'm moving it to my ring finger. And it's kind of a weird grip, but this is actually how I write normally, like my regular handwriting, but I can still hold it at that right angle and not worry about my grip affecting how my brush calligraphy looks. So notice how, again, my grip is different and kind of funky, but I have the same angle as I'm writing. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to discuss was the way you position your writing. So if you're probably wondering this whole time why there's tape here, I wanted to kind of pretend this is the edge of my desk because my real desk is kind of funky shaped. So if this is the edge of my desk, you want to sit down facing, and I don't have a better angle shot at this since I'm not so video savvy, but imagine I'm sitting straight ahead, like these are my hands forward, I'm straight ahead, and that's how you comfortably want to first position yourself. And then to create these angles, I honestly don't write like this, like that is just awkward. So I move my paper to align with how my hand will naturally write. So to kind of better demonstrate, so once you've positioned yourself comfortably straight forward, take your pen and whatever grip you want to choose, it doesn't matter, just whatever's comfortable for you. And I'm not close, I actually didn't discuss this earlier, but I'm not too close to the tip. Can you see that? And I'm not far off. It's really, and hopefully I can find a better way to describe this in future posts, but it's really just your comfort to the distance of the tip where your fingers are. So my point with that is once you have your grip established, you don't want to be awkward with your hand. Instead, move your paper so that the angle is created that way. And to further emphasize that point, if I were to have it straight off, I could not possibly turn my hand that way and still be facing forward. It would take, and it takes some experimenting, like what's comfortable for you. And I just wanted to demonstrate this because I don't think people realize how important it is to position your paper at an angle that helps you write. So again, this is the edge of my desk, I'm facing forward, and yet this is how far I am turning my page just to achieve the angle I want. And of course your angle will differ depending on the style you're going for, but if you notice in my post, my angle tends to be at whatever angle this is. So there you have it, just going over how to hold the brush pen. And let me know what you think in the comments below. And I have a post to go along with this with some pictures. And thanks for watching.